a being with snakes for hair, whose gaze can turn anyone to stone, Medusa. In Greek mythology, Medusa is not just a monster, but a symbol of tragedy, revenge, and curse. Her story is more than a tale of horror. It is a sad legend born from the jealousy of gods and the frailty of humans. Why did she transform into such a terrifying figure? And what message did she leave behind? The legend of Medusa tells the story of human beauty and the misfortune it can bring. Her gaze is not merely destructive, it may be a profound warning to the world. Medusa's story originates from ancient Greece. She appears in prominent Greek mythological works like Hesiod's Theogony and Ovid's Metamorphoses, passed down from around the 8th century BCE. Medusa's legend has influenced not only ancient Greek mythology but also Roman times, and continues to inspire diverse art and literature in the modern era. Her story transcends time, still delivering a powerful message to us today. Medusa is not just a figure of the past. She's a symbolic entity, living through thousands of years of cultural interpretation and influence. Medusa was one of the three Gorgon sisters, born to the sea deities Phorcys and Ceto. Her sisters were Stheno and Euryale, who were immortal. But Medusa was the only mortal Gorgon, fated to die. The Gorgon sisters were seen as symbols of fear and mystery in Greek mythology, with Medusa holding special significance as a bridge between the world of gods and humans. Her humanity and mortality made her a more tragic figure. Her birth symbolizes not just life, but the existence on the boundary between gods and humans, between immortality and mortality. Medusa was not always a monster. She was a stunningly beautiful woman, admired for her golden hair and bright, clear eyes. Her beauty was legendary, celebrated in temples and markets alike, captivating both gods and mortals. However, her beauty was not a blessing, but the seed of a curse. Her radiant appearance soon provoked the jealousy of the gods, especially the wrath of Athena. Beauty can be a blessing, but sometimes it marks the beginning of tragedy. Medusa was a victim of this cruel fate. Medusa served as a sacred priestess in the temple of Athena. However, the sea god Poseidon, enamored by her beauty, violated her within the temple. Enraged, Athena placed a terrible curse on Medusa. Her beautiful hair turned into venomous snakes, and anyone who met her gaze was turned to stone. This curse was not just a punishment, it symbolized the authority of the gods and the helplessness of mortals. Medusa's curse was not merely a sentence, but an expression of fear toward femininity and power. Cursed by Athena, Medusa slowly transformed into a monster in agony. People feared and avoided her, and she eventually lived in isolation on a remote island. She was no longer a beloved figure, but became a symbol of death and terror. But was she truly a monster? Or was she a creation of the gods' jealousy and humanity's prejudice? In her pain and solitude, Medusa survived not as a simple monster, but as someone defending her existence. What defines a monster? Medusa's story poses this question to us. The hero Perseus was tasked with retrieving Medusa's head as part of his mission. With the help of the gods, he received Athena's shield, Hermes' winged sandals, and Hades' helmet of invisibility, setting off for Medusa's island to avoid her deadly gaze. Perseus used the reflection in his shield to approach Medusa and decapitate her. This was not just a battle, but a confrontation of wisdom and courage. He triumphed not by facing her directly, but by seeing her true form through reflection. Behind every heroic victory lies a sacrifice. Medusa's death became part of the heroic tale, but her tragedy was forgotten. After Medusa's death, two beings emerged from her body, Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, a giant warrior. They were born from Medusa's blood, marking the beginning of new myths. Remarkably, Medusa's blood possessed great power, symbolizing both healing and poison, life and death. Her death was not an end, but a new beginning. Death is not the final chapter, but merely another form of transformation. Medusa's legacy lives on eternally in mythology. Medusa is more than a monster. She represents repressed femininity, the spirit of revenge and self-defense. Her curse was not merely a punishment, but a reflection of resistance against the gods' injustice. Today, Medusa stands as an icon of strength and independence. Her image represents female power, rights, and defiance against oppression in modern culture. Medusa is not a monster, but a symbol of the power possessed by the oppressed. Her gaze still delivers a powerful message to us. Though known as a monster, Medusa's story is one of beauty and tragedy, as well as revenge and liberation. Her gaze still asks us, who is the real monster? The legend of Medusa is more than a myth. It holds deep insights into human nature and society. Through her story, we are invited to reconsider what it truly means to be a monster.